Did you know that there's a bit of a problem in most British homes? Damp. And it's for a number of reasons really. The climate in the UK is actually very humid, mainly because we're an island surrounded by the sea, just in case you hadn't noticed. But combine that with the extra moisture in the air in our homes from showers, cooking and washing clothes, and that in the winter we don't like leaving our windows open because it's bloody cold outside, and you end up with high humidity levels in our homes. I've had real issues with this in our house. I've had to scrub walls with bleach to remove mould. Plaster around our windows is cracking, we get mouldy ceilings in our bathroom, and clothes can start to smell musty quite quickly, and even cushions left in our conservatory start to go mouldy. There is another big problem with having high humidity levels in our home over winter, and that is it will cost you more to run your heating. Water vapour has a higher heat capacity than the other gases in our air, and it will absorb more of the heat that we're putting into our rooms, basically meaning it will take longer to heat up a humid house. So something has to be done, and of course it has to be done in my usual style, with gadgets of course. So I went out and bought this dehumidifier. It's called the Arete Two, and it's from a UK based company called Meaco. Now this is the 12 litre model, which means it can remove up to 12 litres of moisture from the air every day. But it has only got a 2.5 litre water tank though, so you'd have to empty that a few times a day if it did work at full capacity. So this particular model is designed for up to a 3-bedroom house. Now I've got 4 bedrooms, but I don't want it to do my whole home. I just want it to do specific rooms and areas. But this has got a nice little angled dry air output here. So if you were drying your clothes, you could point this straight at your clothes and it should help to dry them out. You've also got around the back here a HEPA filter. Let me take that out. It just slides out. Put a filter in there so it does air purification at the same time. Slide that back in. But the absolute best feature of this dehumidifier is that it's a smart Wi-Fi connected item. Yes, this dehumidifier connects to the Toya platform over Wi-Fi using the Toya Smart Life app. In there you can control turning it on, setting the target humidity level, setting a timer and changing the device modes. And because it's Toya compatible, it can connect to Home Assistant of course. So I've put together this useful little dashboard showing all of the humidity levels around my home, as reported mostly by Aqara temperature sensors. In the middle here I have the controls and sensors that Toya presents for that device. There's a switch to turn it on and off, there's a climate entity that lets us set the target humidity like you would with a thermostat, and what I think is probably the most useful feature here, it's a sensor to tell you when the wastewater tank is full. Over on the right are some power and energy sensors because I've got the dehumidifier connected to a smart plug so as I can monitor how much power it's pulling and how much energy it has consumed. But let's go back to that tank full sensor, because in the conservatory I've got a passive dehumidifier that uses special tablets to absorb the moisture in the air. But the problem is, unless you are always keeping an eye on it, you never know whether it's got full or not. With a smart dehumidifier like the Arete 2, you can set up an automation in Home Assistant to notify you when the tank is full, and I think that's going to be very useful. But let's go back to the conservatory. So the conservatory itself is sort of thermally separate to the rest of the house because there's an external door separating the conservatory from the dining room. So hopefully this should be pretty standalone in its test. It shouldn't be affected by what's going on in the rest of the house. But what I've got here is a little portable humidity meter from SwitchBot, and this is currently showing it at 87% humidity, or it's sort of bouncing between 79 and 89% depending on how much I look at it. Well, it's gone up to 90 now, but this is actually connected using Bluetooth back to Home Assistant, so I can get all of the details I need. All of the data will be reported in Home Assistant so we can monitor what's going on. So the plan is to turn this on and leave it on overnight and see what happens to the humidity levels in this conservatory. I think this is going to be a bit of a challenge. Let's switch it on. There we go, running. Okay, so it was left on overnight from about 2 o'clock in the afternoon until 8 o'clock the next morning. So that's 18 hours to do its thing. The orange line on this graph is the dehumidifier's self-reported humidity level. The blue line is the target humidity level, and you can see here that I had it set to try and reach 55%. The conservatory is very humid and it was at about 80% when I started, but although it had a good go at reducing the humidity levels, it never got below 77%. So something's up here. What's with all of those jagged lines on the graph with humidity levels going up and down? Now I know it was working properly because there was a lot of water in the tank, so it had managed to remove a lot of water from the air. This graph is from the portable SwitchBot sensor, and it actually tells a better story than the dehumidifier's built-in sensor. We see a massive drop-off of humidity levels in the first 6 hours, but then after that it sort of flatlines at about 68%. Again, what are all of those up and down jumps in the humidity levels? Well, the conservatory is a bit leaky for starters, so effectively there's a constant supply of humid air coming in from outside. So that's probably one reason why this dehumidifier struggled with this room. But also it was only about 9 or 10 degrees in there, and this type of compressor-based dehumidifier suffers from the same issue that my air source heat pump has, a defrost cycle. So as the cold damp air gets pulled in over the heat exchanger, it can start to freeze. When that builds up too much, it needs to defrost the ice or it'll stop working entirely. The colder it is and the more humid the air is, the more often it has to do these defrosts, and that can really slow down its performance. In the conservatory, it was basically doing a defrost every 20 minutes. You can see this in the power graph too. Under normal operation, it used about 140 to 150 watts, which I think is very reasonable. Every time it had to defrost though, then the power draw dropped to about 5 watts. So that's a bit of a shame that it didn't work well in my conservatory, because that was one of our biggest problem areas and I'll need to rethink what I do in there. So let's move it somewhere else in the house where it should be more effective. It's quite heavy, but luckily it's got this useful carrying handle here, so you can just pick it up like that. So I put the dehumidifier in the ensuite straight after we'd had our morning showers, and you can see that in the humidity graph in that room. There's a massive spike in humidity levels going up to almost 90%, and there would be a natural drop off anyway after the showers, but you can see that usually it gets to around 67%. I set it to take the levels down to 45%, and after only about an hour you can see that it had hit that target. That's a massive difference in performance levels compared to when it was in the conservatory, and I think that is probably down to it being about 20 degrees in the ensuite rather than below 10 degrees in the conservatory. If we look at the power draw too, then it was far steadier with only one defrost event, and that helped it maintain its performance. So what can I conclude from this then? Well, placement is everything, and this dehumidifier is clearly not suitable for use in a cold, drafty conservatory to keep the damp and mould out. I'd either need to have a more powerful unit, or I'd have to combine it with some heating. Or what would be more sensible for this room would be to install a small air-to-air heat pump, like an air conditioner sort of thing, which would heat the room and also dehumidify it at the same time. But for the rest of the house, this could be very useful. Now, it is undersized for doing my whole home, but it should nicely do my upstairs rooms by itself. I've actually tried it out running for a few hours with all of the doors up there open, and it did make a noticeable difference to humidity levels. I probably wouldn't want one unit to do my whole house anyway. It would be better to have a separate one downstairs. I think that would deal better with the moisture levels in the kitchen too. I reckon I could probably move one of my robot vacuums out of the way to make some space. Anyway, I will stick links to the Arete 2 dehumidifier down in the description in case you're interested in taking a look at it. I hope you found this useful, and please give the video a like if you did. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for free to see more from me. A massive thank you to my channel members and patrons for supporting the channel. If you'd like to support the channel by becoming a channel member or a patron and get early access to my videos and some bonus content too, then check out the links down in the description. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.